What's up, wrestling fans? It's the Emerald Enthusiast, the co-host of the Way Back Wrestling Mania podcast, here with a look at the Mattel Elite Collection Top Picks figure of the one and only Rock. Let's have a look at the packaging details now. On the bottom front, we see this studio shot of the Rock. We see a similar larger shot of the Rock on this side. On the top, it says Elite Collection. Here is a partial window. On this side, once again, it says The Rock, and we also see the Certified Authentic Hologram. On the back, we get headshots of some of the other figures available in this wave. We get specifics about The Rock, including this brief bio that says the People's Champ takes opponents down to the corner of Jabroni Drive and Know Your Row Boulevard until they reach the SmackDown Hotel. Here is the figure as seen through the front window. I do wish that the WWE logo was smaller and that The Rock was more centered with the alternate sets of hands set off to the side. But with no further ado, now I think it's time to bust this figure out of the package and see what's inside. Here is this cardboard background with the WWE logo that you might want to use for a diorama. Here is the figure free of the outer packaging, but still in the inner plastic. And here we see the People's Champ out of the package and ready to lay the smackdown. This is The Rock in his prime with a lot of cool accessories. I think this is one of the best Rock figures that I have ever seen. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the loose details of this figure now. Let's have a quick look at accessories. And we get these sunglasses. These are really cool. They slip on the figure's face very easily. As well as this Raw is War microphone. And that is very accurate to the time period. This is really cool. And we are treated to two alternate sets of hands, open hands as well as fists. And these each have these pegs that, of course, port into the forearm. And they each have this hinge, so they have the same amount of articulation as the hands currently on the figure. Let's have a look at the lower body now. And there's lots of brilliant sculpting here. You see all these little laces that have been sculpted in to this area. This little strap on the calf muscle is actually movable, very pliable down here, lots of good wrinkles that have been sculpted in. You get this pivoting on the foot and the ankle goes that far back. And this knee pad is really pliable, so it's over these double jointed knees and it doesn't really hinder the articulation at all. So if you want to get him into a running pose, you certainly can. In terms of the upper part of the legs here, you do get this quadriceps swivel here, and that comes in handy. In terms of articulation in the hips, you can get his hips to go out this far, so I feel like that could be a little bit better. You can get him to kick forward this far, so if you want to bend the leg and like get him to kick forward, I think that looks pretty accurate. I would have liked for it to go up a little bit further. You can't really get him to step back very far. The hip area blocks it. But if you want to get him into like a stepping pose like that, you certainly can. Here's a quick look at the trunks. And of course, if you know anything about The Rock, you know this is the Brahma Bull design. And I like that this is trimmed in blue. That looks really good. Here is the front. Likewise, trimmed in blue, it says The Rock. And I appreciate that we still get these wrinkles that are sculpted in. And that just helps it look realistic. And there's also waist swiveling, by the way. So that is certainly helpful in getting the figure in a good pose. Here's a look at the torso now. And this is accurate to the time period. The tattooing on the pectoral, a lot of that tattooing came later on in his career. He didn't have that in his prime. I think this all looks really good here. The skin tone is very lifelike. You can see it's not all smooth. It actually does have, kind of the texturing of actual skin. Here's a look at the latissimus dorsi and the trapezius here. I feel like Rock was, though, a little bit more defined in the back, so maybe that could have been improved. In terms of the torso joint here, you can get him to rock back that far. So that'll certainly help you get him into a good pose. You can get him to rock forward like this. So yeah, I think that the torso, Mattel did a really good job on this. Let's get a look at the arms now, and you can see with the hands here, they're vein sculpted into these gripping hands. I certainly appreciate that. Good musculature on the forearms. Despite these elbow pads, you still get these double jointed elbows, so that's certainly appreciated. There's the Brahma Bull tattoo. See if I can get you a close-up of that. That looks really good. Bicep swiveling. In terms of shoulder articulation, you can get his arms to go up this far by his sides, and that's admirable. There's also 360 degrees of rotation. If you're wondering if you can get his arms to go out and back, you certainly can. So if you want to have him in a pose where he is playing to the crowd, you can certainly do that. Let's have a look at the alternate sets of hands. Here's a look at the empty ports. These open palms certainly give you great posing options. And here is the Rock ready for business. So here is the shirt, and I certainly appreciate this really shiny material. I love the old school logo here, the Rock. And of course it has this Velcro portion here in the back, and you can open and close it very easily, and that makes it easy to get on and off of the figure. And even the sleeves are done very well. They also have the old school Rock logos, and the paint on the arms done very well. So I certainly appreciate this accessory. As you can see, this head sculpt really perfectly captures the essence of the Rock. I love this little sneer. This kind of snarky look that he has here. The eyes look really good. The lips look realistic, as well as the skin tone. That all looks really good. It's been a long time since the Rock had this type of hair, but that is accurate to the time period. Lots of good articulation here. You can get his head to tilt, and that's something that I always appreciate. You can get him to look up, get him to look down, side to side very easily. So yeah, just overall, this is a really excellent job by Mattel. So here he is wearing the sunglasses, and they don't sit perfectly on his face, but they do look good overall, and they don't instantly fall off every time you move the figure. I certainly hope you have enjoyed this review. If so, please like, subscribe, and tell a friend to do the same. Stay tuned at the end of the video for some articulation shots, and also remember to catch me on the Multiverse Musings vidcast, available right here on YouTube. And I'll be back to the internet with more pro wrestling related content soon. But until we meet again, this has been the Emerald Enthusiast, and thanks for watching.